This podcast is produced by Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency. The Collective Us, an NMCAA podcast, focuses on inspiring you through stories of those we've helped through our programming or by linking local resources to community members in need. Join us as we learn about the programs offered through NMCAA and how we touch people's lives every day.
Welcome back to The Collective Us. I'm Ryan Buck.
And I'm Erica Austin. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are happy to be back in the studio after a little unexpected hiatus, but we are back and mostly healthy.
I think that sounds right.
My voice sounds a little off, but
you
bear with me.
are on, as always.
Thank you. I'm here and ready to roll.
Thanks to The Collective for tuning in today. As always, we're here to dive into important conversations and highlight some incredible programs that are making a difference at NMCAA. This is such a crucial topic because many people don't realize that getting taxes done for free, I'm going to pause there for a second, is not only possible, but it's one of the easiest ways to get some financial relief during a time of year that can be stressful for a lot of people. I think that's pretty prescient right now, post-holiday.
Absolutely. Today we're going to talk about an exciting upcoming event, Super Saturday, and some important community resources like the free tax prep program. But before we dive in, let's introduce our guests. Welcome, Justin Marcum, Tax Program Coordinator, and Emily Marek, Lead Intake Specialist, who is also helping coordinate Super Saturday. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Excited to be here.
Let's start with the free tax prep program. That's a little bit of a tongue twister,
It's fun.
isn't it?
It's fun. This is going to be an alliterative episode.
Justin, can you just give us a quick overview about the program?
Yeah, so we are completely volunteer-based for the most part. Our grants are issued to us by the IRS, so it's overseen by the IRS, but we have 7 locations. 3 are NMCAA offices, 1 in Petoskey, 1 in Cadillac, and 1 in Traverse City. We have a partner location and 2 in Benzie Area Christian Neighbors, and the Benzie Senior Resource Center. We also have a drop-off site in Kalkaska at the Kalkaska Commission on Aging. And then we have the Charlevoix First Baptist Church, and collectively, those 7 sites do free tax prep. And so how it works is we have our volunteer preparers who many of them are retired CPAs. We have retired engineers who are looking for time to kill, and they've decided to do it, to kill their time by helping others in their community. And taxes, like you said, it's stressful, and it's confusing, and it's intimidating. So we have 2 options. We have in-person appointments, but we also have a drop-off process. If clients want to have an in-person appointment, they call their closest office. We mail them or they pick up a tax packet. They fill out the information in there. They read the information that we need provided back to us, and they can schedule an appointment, bring all that stuff in. Or if they go the drop-off route, they can either call in to get a tax packet mailed to them or come in one of our offices and pick it up. But once they drop off a completed tax packet, we'll prepare it totally away from them so they don't have to deal with it anymore. But we have about 30 total volunteers, and it's growing. This program at NMCAA is in its 22nd or 23rd year now. Most of our volunteers, our longest one has been here for 19 years. I think the most junior one is in their 6th or 7th year. So they're a close-knit group. They're a well-trained group. They're all certified by the IRS through the IRS training that we provide. And one change for this year is we've always capped our income ceiling. We try and help low to moderate income individuals. But one thing that we've realized that we left out is if someone is a teacher making $40,000, and then you have someone who's a factory worker that makes $50,000, but they have 2 kids, they're grossing $90,000 a year, but they've got dependents. So we've actually upped that income ceiling to $100,000 and less for free tax prep to help broaden that.
That's a good delineation to point out, because we talk a little bit about, and a nice takeaway is there's a large group of very informed, excited volunteers to help.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe even happy
to
be doing taxes.
Yep.
Who is eligible for the program?
Great question. So the full eligibility is 2 things. If you're under the age of 65, then you have to make $100,000 or less. If you're over the age of 65, we'll take whatever.
Okay.
No income limit.
So, and that's as a household, correct? That's the way,
correct.
the way
As a
you're
household.
explaining that
Correct.
is like
Yep.
the
As a
teacher.
household.
Okay.
Correct.
Perfect.
Again, that's a good delineation to
Yeah.
make because, we talk about what may scare people away from the process.
Sure.
It's good to just get our definitions down and
Right.
eligibility down. So,
Yeah. And so you've already talked a little bit about the process. Is there anything in addition that you want to add to
yeah,
that?
what's a day look like? Because you're
Sure.
smiling. And I like,
Yeah.
again, you hear me say it a lot on the show. I really feel like
Yeah.
this is a positive experience.
It is. So I'll walk you through two scenarios. So the first scenario is a client calls in and they schedule an in-person appointment. They'll be mailed their tax packet. They'll reference it, fill it out, and bring in all the documents that's mentioned in that tax packet to an in-person preparer. They will sit down with the preparer. An appointment is usually about an hour long. They'll sit down. They'll be asked a couple more questions. Is this information that you provided accurate and so on? And then they'll begin the return process.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's prepared, we do what's called peer review. So another volunteer preparer in the room will review the work of the original preparer just to ensure that there's no typos, all the credits that they could qualify for are in their return, and that their refund is as big as it possibly
Is that
could be.
because that's part of the IRS standard, or is that an
it is.
NMCAA?
It's an IRS standard, and we take
That's
it
exactly
very,
what I was gonna ask,
very
too.
seriously.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. And quality review must happen for every single return, whether it's a drop-off return or an in-person return.
Wow.
So they're seen by
Checks and balances.
Yep, correct.
Love
Makes
that.
sense. And then scenario 2.
So the drop-off process, the client calls in, they call into our office, they want a tax packet mailed to them. They can receive it via mail or come into one of our offices and pick it up. Just like an in-person appointment, they fill it out, drop off their taxes. The different thing, we'll receive it. We'll give them a call, letting them know that we've received their documents, and it usually takes about 2 weeks. So it will be sent to a drop-off preparer. They will prepare it, and then a drop-off quality reviewer will review it. Once it's ready for review, we'll call the client in for a quick 15-minute meeting to review their tax return, answer any questions, and then we'll file right then and there.
That's great. Could a meeting like that 15-minute meeting also be done virtually? Or do you prefer?
So now that COVID is over, for good reason, we are trying to have as much identity fraud is a big thing, and it's only getting worse.
Okay.
And to stymie the concerns that a lot of taxpayers have, we ask that they come in person so we can verify their identity.
There you go. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense to me.
And this is just my presupposing because I've moved a lot. In DMVs,
Sure.
I've learned be prepared.
Sure.
So this is obviously a two-way street. So is your advice to people be as prepared as possible?
Yeah, and that's,
You're
believe it
here
or
to help, but you want to meet
Sure.
together, right?
and believe it or not, the IRS I will be the first one to say this, the IRS is there to help you. So we do have,
Aw, that's all right. That's a great pull quote from the episode.
we do have some flexibility. So we service 10 counties. One of those counties is Roscommon. We get clients from Roscommon all the time, but some are homebound. And now that we're working with Meals on Wheels, a lot of our clients this tax season will be homebound. So we have the option, if they're unavailable, if they do the drop-off process and they cannot come in for a meeting, we will mail them some documentation for them to fill out and send back to us. And then we will call them over the phone, verify their identity over the phone after we receive some signatures from them, and we will go over the return with them like that. So that it's not a virtual process, but it is a process in lieu of an in-person appointment.
Yeah. NMCAA is always meeting clients where they're at.
Where
right?
they're
Right,
at.
yep.
That's great.
And speaking of meeting, in 2024, the tax program filed 3,674 tax returns and put over $6 million in credits and refunds back into the hands of our local community.
Isn't that incredible?
That is fun to say.
Yeah.
Is there a goal each year for revenue or amount? How does that work?
Tax returns,
So,
maybe?
right, it's individual tax returns filed that we are looking to grow.
Great.
And one of the coolest things is, you get some varied, with community services, you get varied opinions. But here's one of the best parts about the tax program. You're giving them access, each client, easier access to money that's already theirs. And so by reducing that barrier, the numbers have grown. We've grown 40% from this past tax season, which is crazy. Now, it was short of our original grant numbers, but now we have even more office staff, even more volunteer staff, and even more marketing. So we're in really, really good shape to meet those numbers.
So awareness still helps.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So everybody listening, everybody telling somebody about this still helps.
Yep.
Absolutely. We talked about volunteers already a little bit, and we had our longtime volunteer, Larry Winters, on episode number 36. If you want to hear a little bit about what it's like to be a volunteer in this program. So we know, based on that episode and Larry's story, that a big reason for the success of this program is the volunteers. So we keep asking Justin, Emily, we need you to pipe in if you have anything. But we know that volunteers are a huge part of NMCAA, not just the tax program. But what does the tax program volunteers' role entail? I mean, they're preparing taxes, they're meeting with clients. Is there anything you'd like to add that you haven't already talked about in terms of the volunteers?
So they will, depending on their office, they will be a part of a team. You know, whether it's a team of 2 or a team of 10, they'll be a part of a team that is extremely supportive, extremely communicative, and even though they may be a volunteer, they are just as part of our NMCAA family as anyone else.
So there's some camaraderie there.
Yeah. And
awesome.
And when a tax return, we try and keep them as simple as possible, but there are some that are more complicated than others. And being able to bounce it off another preparer and to do it immediately and effortlessly, it makes a big difference. So, you know, you are preparing returns, you know, you are meeting with clients, but you're actually also making a difference in their lives.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the volunteers can kind of work whatever hours they're looking at, right?
Sure.
Like they want to work 10 hours or 8 hours a week.
So
they can do that if they want to work 40.
If you're as crazy as Larry is,
we love Larry.
It goes without saying.
He works 40 hours a week from he takes appointments this season from 8:30 to 4, but he works from 8:30 to 5. If you're like me, you want to spend it probably a little differently. We have volunteers out of the same Traverse City office that do it once a week for 4 hours a day, or they just do 4 hours a day, one appointment per day, or one appointment, per day, 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's extremely flexible. We work with your schedule. We work around your schedule, and we just appreciate any time that you can lend the agency.
That's amazing.
And if you don't want to volunteer just for taxes, the agency does have other volunteer opportunities as well.
Yeah. I know there's
around this area, is there anything in the world of intake, or is there anything around this? Let's say you're not a CPA, but you want to help in this. Is there anything else?
Yeah, so I'm jumping in here, but I know that Meals on Wheels right now is also looking for volunteer drivers. So there's obviously that's a big one, a big program that uses volunteers as well. But if you go on our website under our Get Involved tab, there's lots of information about volunteering. So you can check it out there.
Yeah. I will mention in terms of intake, there's also intake that the tax department can certainly use. So if taxes are intimidating, but you still want to help the program, we do have intake specialists for the tax program. And you'd be receiving documents, helping clients prepare, and this would be in the drop-off process. So the in-person appointments, the preparer does intake, but on drop-offs, we do have intake volunteers that also do that. If you don't want to touch a tax return, but you want to, help,
feels too big.
Make sure we have
you can ease into it.
We have a role for everyone.
That's great. So it's not just about doing someone's taxes; it's about empowering them with knowledge and confidence in their financial situation. My understanding is a lot of people who come to NMCAA don't really know what they're entitled to, like tax credits or deductions, and it's great to be able to help them uncover that potential financial boost. With that being said, do you have any heartstring stories, anything you can think of from the past years that you've been with us that stick out regarding this program, something that really just
so it's hard to think of less than 100.
That's great.
So here's the first scenario is we had a client who brought in her W-2, was under the impression that she was due a refund. She got her W-2 and we saw it, and her income was in the mid $40,000. And we noticed her withholding on her W-2 was $5. So we knew instantly that she was going to owe thousands of dollars in taxes.
She came in not with that expectation.
Not with that expectation, correct. So the bad news is she had to pay it. She didn't withhold nearly enough. Good news is we have documents on all of our sites, and all of our preparers are trained to do this, to fill out and immediately give to your employer if you're under withholding, to submit to your HR department, so that come tax time next year, you're withholding plenty from your paycheck so that you either break even or have a refund. So it's not unexpected, come tax time. So another scenario, this is one where that was a W-2 worker. If someone's retired and is on a GM pension or Social Security, like most retirees, they don't pay into anything, so they're not withholding anything. So they're not going to get any refund from the federal government. But the state of Michigan has two really main tax credits that fixed income retirees benefit from the most. One being my grandmother. So she's on Social Security and my grandfather's GM pension. Doesn't owe taxes on any of it. So she traditionally hasn't filed. But the state of Michigan, if you're a renter like she is, or a property owner, it's called the Michigan Property Homestead Tax Credit. And so if you're a homeowner and your taxable value, I believe this year is $164,000 or less, if that's the taxable value, not the value of the home, but the taxable value, if it's under that, you can qualify for up to $1,800 of a fully refundable credit. That's money back in the client's pockets. Same for a renter. If you're a renter, your total income has to be below $64,000 or so, but based on your property taxes and your rent and your income, you can qualify for up to $1,800. And most of our clients either qualify for the full $1,800, but if they don't, they'll get $1,400 back.
Wow.
$1,200. Yeah. And I mean,
that's a difference.
It's a big difference,
Yeah.
and that's with them not paying any taxes at all.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
another
amazing.
thing is if you're a homeowner, if you're behind on your property taxes, you can still get that credit. All we need is your summer and winter tax bill for that year. They don't have to be paid, and you still qualify for it.
I was going to bring that up too. So my department has HUD certified housing coaches, and what they will do is help people navigate through property taxes, mortgage foreclosure type situations. I've noticed a lot of people don't file taxes, not realizing that they can and they may be entitled to those credits. So they're always welcome to get set up with one of our housing coaches who will help navigate that and refer them to taxes to get the taxes done to maybe save their home.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of knowledge just dropped, honestly. Anybody can listen to
real.
the show, just as a reminder.
Yeah.
And I think, Justin, you made a nice call out. And I think a lot about the people who may feel like they're a little buried. Just come in.
Right.
Like,
I'll give you.
you
So
may have been a little delinquent, whatever your
Right,
situation
come
is,
in.
just come in.
And that refund that they get, whether it's a property tax credit, it's fully refundable, meaning it goes back into their bank account. And we have a system where we can directly deposit that in your account or have it mailed to you via check. And it, like I said, if you're not getting $1,800, you still could get $1,400. That's a rent payment. That's a kickstart to a savings account. That's a utility bill paid. It's a lot. And we'll have staff ready to answer any questions, to walk you through the eligibility of it and the full picture and complexity. They'll make it as easy as possible. And we beg you to come in, because
no matter what
you're
bringing in.
Yeah. If you're buried, we have plenty of shovels.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you've got, is it 3 years back taxes that you can?
Yes. So it's a little complicated. What a surprise!
dating and all that.
What a surprise with the IRS. So how it works, it's really 4 years, but it includes the current tax year. So for tax year 2024, which is this year, so you can do 2024, 2023, 2022, and 2021.
Okay. So the current year and 3 beyond.
Correct.
Great.
Okay.
Correct. The current year and 3 beyond.
Perfect.
So total of 4. So
Okay.
back file 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Well, I have to ask everyone to pardon my interruption because it's time to call out those milestone career achievements we love to celebrate here on the show. And so in January, we are celebrating with Nicole Pollard, 5 years with NMCAA.
Latoya Ruther, 15 years.
Jennifer Rubenes, 20 years.
And Adele Veltema, 20 years.
Thank you all for your hard work and everything you do to support your community and your neighbors.
Familiar name on there.
Yes, there is a familiar name on there. Let's move now to the Super Saturday event, which is based around the tax prep program. So we've learned a lot now already about the tax prep program. So Emily, you've been helping coordinate this event. Can you tell us what someone might expect if they were to come to this event?
Yeah, so
What's the
this
event about?
This is our 22nd year hosting this event. Clients can expect to find obviously free tax filing at the event, tax information, community vendors, giveaways, prizes. We have financial workshops. This year we're doing a credit building workshop along with a will and estate planning workshop. We offer free lunch, and this year we're also having a hot cocoa bar.
Sounds like a
That's
blast.
a lot to coordinate.
It is a lot to coordinate.
How many on your team to make this happen? What does it all take to make all this happen?
It takes a lot of volunteers, teamwork from my team and tax team.
Because there's a lot of elements. You have vendors, you have people who are helping, hospitality is involved.
There are, and we have some great community partners and sponsors.
That's awesome.
We have weekly planning meetings.
I was just going to mention, I'm being marketing. I've been a part of these meetings, and I think
cool.
one of the cool things about the way that Super Saturday is being planned and coordinated right now is that we do include the community partners in the process of creating the event, which I think is a really neat
That's
thing.
great.
Yeah.
What is the date and time of the event? I don't know if we even...
It is going to be February 8th at North Ed at 880 Parsons Street. The event runs from 10 to 2. Check-in is at 9:30 a.m.
Just to be clear, that's Traverse City.
Right.
Just want to make sure that everyone knows that. So we already mentioned the workshops. Can you tell us a little bit more? I don't know if you have details on some of those things.
Yeah, and how do you choose the topics as well?
Yeah.
Are these things that are prescient, or how do you go about that?
We look at the needs of our clients and then speak with the partners to see what they're interested in doing. Last year, we did a scam session along with Scam Bingo. Scam Bingo was highly popular, so we are bringing that back again this year, but tying it into a credit workshop.
Credit bingo?
Yes. Not credit bingo. It will still be Scam Bingo, but
okay.
during our credit
Okay.
workshop.
So you have feedback from the community that's informing your choices on what kind of workshops you're doing.
We do.
Great.
We look at the needs that we're seeing throughout the year, as well as going off of surveys from last year's Super Saturday event.
That's fantastic. And are these are classrooms? Can you just come and have a seat? Do you need to take notes? College level? How stressed do you need?
Whatever
do you, need
you
to be?
choose to do. Very low stress. If you want to take notes, you're welcome to. Not required.
Right. And who are leading the workshops?
So
Typically.
This year, Huntington Bank is helping one of our budget and housing coaches do the credit workshop.
Oh, that's cool. Getting the info right there from the people who know.
Yes. And then we have Grand Traverse Resource Center who will be doing the will and estate planning workshop.
Wow. Fascinating topic. I would
know.
think. Hard to talk about, I'm sure, but necessary.
Yeah,
But really critical stuff.
absolutely.
There are a few other perks to community members who attend this event. Can you tell us about the food boxes? And did you say free lunch? Free lunch?
So yes, free lunch hosted by Jimmy John's.
Yes.
Yes, Jimmy John's is always a good thing.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
We will have food boxes available at the end of the day for those who may need some extra food to take home. We'll also be offering a $20 guest gift card to those who stay and fill out a survey at the end.
So those food boxes are provided by, is it CSFP?
It is.
So we want to make sure we shout out our
CSFP.
it's our Commodity Food Supplemental Program.
That's a great acronym.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's a great, partnership as well, just continuing to interweave all of our programs together. So the question I had, you had said anyone can come. We want to make sure that they're registering for the event. Is that correct?
Yes.
Prior to coming.
Please pre-register. That will help us get an accurate count for food, prizes, swag at the end of the day, everything that we'll need.
And you said the survey. I think it's obviously pretty clear that the survey is important. So please fill out the survey because it can inform the next year's classes or allow your voice to be heard further.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So we have a ton of vendors and sponsors for this year's event. If you wouldn't mind, would you just give a quick shout out to the sponsors?
Yes, we have Michigan Works, United We Smile, Father Fred, DHHS, Huntington, Grand Traverse Resource Center, Traverse Health Clinic, UIA Community Connect, Women's Resource Center, Beta, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union, DTE. We'll have our Head Start department there, Father Fred, the VA, and we're hopefully going to have Traverse Clubhouse as well from CMH.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Such an incredible
I
list.
will also say, because I'm an executive member there, Costco did give us some gift cards to spend, so big thanks to them too.
Wow.
Buy food.
Look at the people who want to be around NMCAA and support. That was a long list.
Yeah.
We had to sit back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, she spoke
was
that
reading.
list. That's really, really impressive. And Justin, we talked about this a little bit, and I'm personally passionate about reaching the people, because I foolishly believe that we can, who are hesitant. So what would you say? You're here, your voice is going to reach them. What would you say to anybody hesitant about attending Super Saturday because they're unsure if they qualify, if they feel any barrier in any way? What would you say to those folks?
Give us a call. We'll talk them out of it. We'll talk them out of that hesitation. Give us a call. We've got anyone who answers the phone not only has heard and helped clients likely in your exact same situation. So there's no barriers at NMCAA. We're here to knock them down for you, and we've done it before. We'll do it again. Give us a call.
And help you continue on the path.
Yeah, correct.
So you had mentioned when we were talking taxes a little bit ago that it normally is like a 2-week process for taxes. So
for drop-offs.
Okay, it was for drop-offs. So Super Saturday, though, are people walking in and coming back, leaving
Great
with the
question.
taxes done?
So when you register, again, you can register online via our Facebook.
We do have our registration link on our Facebook page if any of our Super Saturday posts are out there, so that's for sure.
So once you register and select that you're interested in free tax prep, someone will reach out to you from the tax department to schedule an appointment. So you'll have an appointment there at Super Saturday in a room where your taxes will be prepared. So it is an in-person appointment. If for some reason you're short on time, you can always swing by. You can also drop off your taxes there if need be. So we have the in-person appointments available and the drop-off appointments available both on Super Saturday.
Wow.
Emily.
It's incredible.
Well, no, this is compelling. Are there chances to volunteer at the event at this point, or?
There are. We are posted on the United Way site. They can sign up to volunteer there, or they can just give us a call.
Okay. And as a reminder, at least call any kind of skill level, any type of inclination, just, inquire to find out.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, and volunteers for Super Saturday don't necessarily have to be doing taxes. They could
Right.
be
okay. Yeah, different types of volunteers.
All different kinds of
that's awesome.
opportunities
Give us some
for
of
the
those
day.
couple things that some people might be volunteering if they were helping out on Super Saturday.
It might just be as simple as being a hall monitor. If somebody looks a little bit lost, kind of directing them,
Okay.
helping, put out the food, getting that organized,
Maybe setting
signing
up.
people in,
Setting up,
set
tearing
up,
down.
clean up, handing out
Perfect.
food boxes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big event.
So some low-stress volunteer options.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
then you
very
can
low-stress
observe
day.
And then
Yes.
see. It does sound that way.
And they will also be recipients of free lunch and hot cocoa too. So.
Heck
And
yeah.
free giveaways. This year, something new that we're doing is an hourly giveaway. So every
Oh.
hour, there will be some kind of giveaway.
That's incredible. Well, we know that this event and the tax program is only a small part of your department. Do you have anything else within the Homeownership and Financial Empowerment Center upcoming that you might want to mention?
Yes, we do. We have some upcoming workshops. We have a home buyer education in person in Traverse City, February 4th from 9 to 3. There is a Zoom option if you can't make that in person, and that's available to all 10 of our counties. That will be February 8th from 9 to 3. And then we have a money management Zoom workshop, February 22nd from 9 to 3. And also, one last thing, anyone who may be struggling with mortgage, property taxes, we have a free foreclosure education workshop that you can take anytime. It's done through a website. You log in and out as you please. And once that's complete, you're sent the intake to work with a housing coach to help navigate that for you.
Yeah. And I know one thing that's new, we don't have a date here with us right now, but one thing that's new is the post-purchase.
Oh, yes.
Is it coaching, post-purchase workshop?
So it is a post-purchase
Thank you.
workshop. Great
And I
for
don't know when
anyone
that's-
who's just bought a home or who has owned a home for a while, and that is held over Zoom as well.
Yeah. So that's quarterly. I believe we have one quarterly. So
Yes.
just check out the
great.
website.
I believe
for
the next
updates.
one is April 1st.
Okay, perfect. She knew the date.
Sweet.
All right. Well, we are nearing the end of the episode. And as the collective knows, we like to end our episodes with hard-hitting questions. So, Justin, if you could choose one spokesperson.
He's preparing. He knows what's coming.
One spokesperson for the free tax program. It could be anybody.
Anybody.
It could be Emily, if you like it to be.
Unlimited budget.
Who would it be and why?
That is a hard-hitting question. That's a very good one.
Because you're passionate. You're clearly really passionate.
Yeah.
So if you had anybody who you can have out there selling this program.
Folks, he's sitting here with his
Yeah.
hand on his chin, in deep
I think
thought.
he's considering saying his own name.
He
No.
very well may be.
Nobody's done that yet, actually.
I won't be the first. Honestly, it could be any one of our clients because they can tell others how we help them.
That's fantastic.
And honestly, word of mouth is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's how the message and the service spreads the quickest. And I think our clients are our best spokespeople. And I'll say all of our clients, they know how much we've helped them and, you know, the change in their lives that we make. And they're the ones, I think, who really are the best spokesperson.
Yeah,
Wow.
So that's my
great.
answer.
Well said.
That's
Well,
wonderful.
Emily, all right, let's see where your brain goes with this one. If you had one wish, fantastical or otherwise, any wish, unlimited, for the homeownership and financial empowerment department, what would it be and why?
I would love to see us grow and get some more coaches in because the need from the community is so great. There's a lot of people who need our assistance. So I would just love to see that keep growing.
Yeah,
I'll
that's a
answer
great
that
one.
for more grants. Lots and lots of more grants.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Reasonable wishes.
Yeah,
all.
absolutely. Well, thank you, Justin and Emily, for sharing all this wonderful, great information with us today. We wish you a successful event and tax season. And Ryan, it is time to take it away.
Oh my gosh. Once again, I am really taken by the human beings in the room. Justin and Emily are both truly extraordinary, and I think NMCAA is really lucky to have them in these roles. But I really, as much as NMC rises to meet you, a big takeaway is, you know, be prepared, help the process. So give them the respect as much as possible. Take your chance and be there because they're going to take care of you. But I mean, heck, you can have your taxes just kind of ready to go almost on the way, if not completely right here, and just get on with your life and do other things. So be prepared, you know, meet them halfway.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Well, we have a couple of reminders before we wrap up today. If you or someone you know is homeless, please call our intake number 1-844-900-0500. Also, NMCAA has begun taking interest forms for Head Start and GSRP for the 2025-2026 school year. If you have a child who is 3 or 4 years of age and interested in free preschool programming, go to nmcaa.net to fill out an interest form today.
Also, NMCAA's Laundry Project takes place weekly in Traverse City for community members in need. To learn more about that, contact NMCAA by calling 231-947-3780.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share this episode or the show link on social media and follow the podcast to know when a new episode drops and rate the show. It truly helps us continue to get the word out on all the good NMCAA does in the community.
If you would like to become a sustaining donor with a recurring gift or contribute a one-time donation, please check out nmcaa.net/donate or send us a message at collectiveuspodcast@nmcaa.net.
And to learn more about Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency or the programs we offer, or would like to make a donation, we encourage you to reach out at 231-947-3780 or visit our website, nmcaa.net. And to the collective today, we encourage you to continue to strive each day to do something to help yourself or your neighbors.